Live on Radio Row,
nice.
Super Bowl
Animated series.
59, ready to go. It's Ahman Green. It's Donnie Rightside. So nice to have you on set, Ahman. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thanks for having me, Donnie. I appreciate you.
We got a lot of talk here. Super Bowl, big game on Sunday. We get that. But I need to go over and see what's what. Because how does a freshman go to college and play for a national championship team and run for 1,000 yards with Tommy Frazier and also Lawrence Phillips? How does that happen?
It happens because I say I was ready for the moment, I would say. I got asked this question earlier. The only pressure I had that year was choosing my number.
Yeah.
And it was the fact that Mike Rozier was the last person to wear number 30 for in a Nebraska uniform.
Gotcha.
That was the only pressure I felt.
Wow.
But it got extinguished once my older brother, Jerry, I called him. I went to my dorm room that night. Frank Solich set it up again. Frank Solich.
Yep. Offensive coordinator was Frank Solich back then?
Running back.
Running back.
He was the running back coach.
Sure.
So he brought me in his office at Ahman. You had a good camp.
Yeah.
You know, asked me the question, do you want a red shirt?
Yeah.
And right away, no.
Yeah.
All right. I kind of figured that. Next question. What number do you want to wear?
Yeah.
And he's like, I said, what's available? Because I think I had like 34 for up until that time.
Sure.
And then I was like, I'll keep this because I wore this in high school.
Yep.
But he said, well, we're thinking about you guys, you wearing this number. And I'm like, 30? I'm like, okay. He said, you don't have to give me an answer now.
Yeah.
Give me, when you come in the morning at meetings.
Yeah.
It was during tour days. You can give me an answer then. I'm like, all right. So, like I said, only pressure I had all year.
Yep.
So I go back to my dorm room, Abel Hall. I call my older brother, Jerry, and I'm like, bro, they asked me if I wanted a, red shirt or not. And he's like, what you tell him? I said, no, I want to play now.
Yeah.
Good. He's like, what else? He's like, they asked me to wear number 30.
Yeah.
And my brother goes, he kind of pauses. What's the problem? I'm like, him just saying that right there kind of took all the air out of the pressure that I had on myself. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Well, I was thinking about, Mike Rozier. He wore this before me.
Absolutely.
He won the Heisman. He was part of their national title run back in 84, 83. And I'm like, he's like, and? He said, don't worry about what he did.
Yeah.
You fill your own shoes.
Yeah.
We know Mike Rozier, a fantastic running back, great NFL career.
Sure.
Great career at Nebraska.
Yeah.
But you fill your own shoes.
Yeah.
And once he said that, it's kind of just like, it took all the pressure away. So that's why my freshman year, that was the start of my freshman year because I was just out there playing football with my friends, my new friends, Lawrence, Tommy, Aaron Graham, Aaron Taylor, Chris Dishman, those guys that blocked for me. Sure. And then the guys on defense that was that black shirt defense that I got an education every day in practice.
Absolutely.
Of not giving up running the ball because even though against that black shirt defense, I don't think we gained 15 yards in the practice.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
It got us ready for Saturdays.
Really did.
So we were excited to play Kansas and everybody else because we knew that defense, they weren't going to give us a yard.
Now, if we talk about getting to Nebraska, was that your top choice?
No.
Like, what were the options for you? Yeah, I love this.
That wasn't my top choice. Notre Dame, Nebraska, Arizona. Because if you remember Arizona, they had Dick Tomey, the head coach.
Yes, correct.
Teddy Bruschi led their defense.
Yep.
They were Desert Swarm.
Desert Swarm, yes, absolutely.
Antoine Smith was their running back. Danny White's son was the quarterback.
Sure.
So they were ranked number 2.
Yeah.
And then Michigan and Penn State.
Yeah.
So that was my top 5.
We had a good top 5.
That was my good top 5. And what actually narrowed it down to 4, Penn State wanted me to verbally commit before I took a visit. Yeah. And so I was like, no, I don't. I talked to my dad about that. He's like, no, because that it could probably come back on you if you say you're going there, then you don't go there because you haven't took your other visits. Yeah. Because my dad was like, this whole recruiting thing, you get to go kick the tires.
Absolutely.
Go to Notre Dame, go to Michigan, go to Arizona, even go to Lincoln. If you know you've been there, as an underclassman in high school to go watch games, you still got to find out if it's a good fit. Yeah. And so the 2 visits that actually kind of determined where I was going, one was Arizona, where it was like, oh, man, this was a fun trip. Yeah. A lot of those players, I grew up in California, in Los Angeles. Okay. In Crenshaw area, Dorsey High, Emmanuel Arts, Crenshaw High School as well. A lot of those guys for Arizona were from those areas. Yeah. Some of the guys were on my Little League football, Little League baseball team. Yeah. So I knew them. So I'm like, man, it's going to be tough. I got my Lincoln visits next weekend, and I'm coming from here where I'm like 20% of the roster. I knew them.
Yeah.
And it felt like I was back in L.A. again. So and I'm like, this is going to be tough. So I go to Lincoln, great visit.
Yep.
And I was the last recruit to commit.
Wow.
And the story behind that, like I said, I was in the dark.
Yeah.
And so the night of the national title game, Miami versus Nebraska, it's in the Orange Bowl.
Yes.
Warren Sapp, Ray Lewis, Tommy Frazier, Lawrence Phillips.
Yep.
Those guys are playing in the game. During that game, my mom calls me.
Yeah.
Meet us at the hospital. Your dad just had a heart attack.
Oh, boy.
So he's recovering, but meet us at the hospital. So I was at a friend's house watching the game.
Yeah.
Get in a car, drive over to the hospital. So he's stabilized. He's okay. My brother, Jerry, older sister Tasha, and my other brother Nicky, we're all there. And they got the game on in the family room.
Yeah.
And I think Nebraska just scored. Corey Schlesinger got the one touchdown to take the lead. And we're all cheering. And after we got cheering, it kind of hit me then like, this is where I need to be.
Wow.
Because, like, if something like this happens, I'm not a plane ride away.
Yep.
I'm 45 minutes from home.
Yep.
So that kind of like
puts things a lot in perspective.
Made the perspective choice right there. Yep. It's like I'm coming to Lincoln. So finally, Coach Osborne tells the story too. From his point of view, it was like he told every coach, do not give that scholarship to anybody. We're saving this. This is for Ahman. And if he doesn't come here, okay, but this one is for him.
Yep.
He said, Ahman, you had me sitting on, pins and needles.
It's a great story.
I said, Coach, I really didn't know, but when I told him how I made my decision, he was like, okay, that's fair enough.
Yep.
But
that's such good stuff.
That's how it happened, and that's where I knew I needed to be.
Yep. Now, you get drafted into the NFL, you go to Seattle, but the Green Bay years are what I remember the most.
Yes.
6 out of 7 years, 1,000 yards, but this is so great we talk about it in this season. Saquon had the ability, goes over 2,000.
Yes.
Has the chance to break the record in Week 18. They rest him here. You got close. Yes. 1883 in 2003.
Yes.
Man, talk about that season.
Me and Jamal Lewis had fun.
Just going toe-to-toe?
Yeah, we're going back and forth, but he actually had a couple stretches where he had a little bit over 200 yards.
Yeah.
And what was about that for us, for me and my unit, my offensive line, Marco Rivera, Mike Wall, Mark Tauscher, Chad Clifton, Bubba Franks, tight end, Robert Ferguson, Donald Driver, Javon Walker, Robert Ferguson, and then Brett.
Yes.
William Henderson, Nick Lucci. That was the unit for most of the season. Kevin Berry.
Yes.
Those are the guys that we together, because that's how I look at it, because I've been a running back since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And from that moment, my brothers and my dad told me that a running back is nothing without the other guys on the field.
True.
Starting with the O-line.
Yeah.
They block for you. They sacrifice. They hit guys to open up the holes.
Yep.
So those guys I just mentioned for the Packers, our journey, it was even them. Mike Wall. I remember Mike Wall, Mike Flanagan come up to me after one game where we're neck and neck with Jamal Lewis and his O-line.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we averaged this. We're going to get 2,000. Yeah. We could do this.
Yep.
And I loved it because it was like we.
Yeah.
And I grew up playing baseball. I grew up playing basketball, playing football, playing other. And it was always, when I heard we, then I was like, we're locked in.
Yep, absolutely.
Not only did we have a fantastic season, but then yardage-wise, we knew we could do that. We came up a little bit short, but they were still the guys were still proud of us accomplishing what we did. I know I was. Because I know I had goals that I have still written down on pieces of paper that I still have today that I wanted to break or accomplish or even get close to. And a lot of them records happened that year.
Let me talk to you about 03 because I was an Eagles fan, season ticket holder. I was there in 03 in the divisional round.
Okay.
You guys got up two touchdowns early.
Yeah.
You were in for $156 that day.
Yeah.
2 plays I remember. 4th and goal, you got tripped up in the back because somebody stumbled there, which you were going to walk into the end zone, but you tripped up. And another one, I believe it was Brett Favre late in the game to clinch it. You guys, I think, elected to punt on 4th and inches.
Yes.
What was going through your mind? Like, you win. You hand it off, you win that game.
So this is the one and only time that whenever I need to call my coach back, Coach Sherman.
Yes.
He called me during the summer. I got to call him back. But this will be one instance where I was upset at him because I don't care what happened on 4th and 1 before halftime.
Correct. Yep.
They got to do it again.
Correct.
And I'm going to be wary of that. That means I'm going to lift my legs up a little higher.
Yes.
I could fall for a yard, and we could close this thing out. and go play Carolina for the NFC Championship game.
And you would have beaten them.
Right. So that's the confidence we had. And so I came to that sideline. I know I said some explicit words. So Philly fans are used to.
Yes.
I said that to my coach because I knew even after that, okay, they got a good play on that fourth down goal line right before the halftime. Hey, that was just a good play.
Yeah.
Got to make it again.
Yep.
So give me the ball one more time.
As I sat there in the stands praying you didn't get the carry, I couldn't believe that they punted at that time. But it's one of those memories I remember how good that season was. And, yes, you probably would have went on to the Super Bowl with a great chance to win it with a lot of great players. Now, post-career, you're doing big things now. Tell the people out here where we can catch you and what you're doing right now.
Oh, all right. Woosah. All right. I do every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm a gamer now. I mean, I've always been a gamer.
Yeah.
But I'm an esports coach now. Actually used to teach at Nebraska.
Wow.
Lecturer Intro to Esports.
Awesome.
So I do a Gamers Lounge show called Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. That's Wednesdays at 2 p.m. On Twitch and Kick. And then also with some of my old Packer teammates, Tuesday morning at 10:30. So this next following Tuesday morning, Super Bowl recap. Myself, Gilbert Brown, and Dorsey Levin at 10:30 a.m. on my Twitch channel. Ahman Green TV there, but it's called Green and Go G Lounge. And then believe in Packers too. That's why I'm here. In this place today, radio. Also believe in Packers too. Also, Packer football, breaking down every game throughout the season. And then I have an everyday show that I do from Lincoln, Nebraska, which is 93.7 The Ticket FM.
Fantastic.
The Drive. That one's called The Drive with one of my former teammates, Adrian Davis, sorry. Aaron Davis, sorry. Aaron Davis. He's going to mess with me on that one. Aaron Davis, new teammate Chris Raff, and Nick Sainert. Great show we do every morning covering Nebraska sports and some NFL, NBA, Major League Baseballs throughout the week of the year and throughout the seasons.
Fantastic, man.
Busy.
Doing big things. Ahman Green, NFL great, college great, joining us here on Radio Row, Super Bowl 59, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Ahman, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Donnie. Oh, one more.
Go.
Alumni Media Network. I can't go out without saying that. Alumni Media Network, that's where we do the podcast with Green and Go G Lounge.
There you go. Ahman Green, he said it all.